texted me asking me, is France a good place to study? And my first question that I actually want to ask all of you is like, how do you define a good place to study? If I actually asked you, is India or wherever you studied a good place to study, how would you actually define that to me? 4 years back, I actually had the same question, and 4 years later, that is right now, I'm in a better place to actually answer this particular question. These are the following reasons why I'd actually recommend France as a place to study. The first reason why I'd actually recommend France is because of the fees at the institutions. Unless you go to a public institution where the fees are almost free or you just have to pay the application fee, even at the private institutions, the fees, if you've done your research, is much cheaper compared to the English-speaking countries. Second, the student benefits. Now, I've actually been lucky to study in the US, or actually to live and work and study in the US, and to live, work and study here in India also, and in Dubai. Now, out of all these countries, there is only one thing that distinguishes France from all of them, and that is the benefits you receive as a student below the age of 26. It is amazing that this country actually provides you benefits in terms of accommodation, in terms of transportation, in terms of shopping, in terms of sightseeing, tourist attractions, name it. Like only in Europe, and again, I'm not specifically saying France, but mostly in Europe, you get these opportunities or these benefits which you don't receive anywhere else as a student. Third, the employment benefits in France. So once you've graduated and you find a job, or during your part-time job, you will realize this, the employment benefits is one of the strongest in the world. For example, you've seen my previous video about contracts. Once you get a CDI contract, like they cannot actually fire you from the company till you leave the company, or you actually go and kill probably the CEO. Apart from that, you actually have a minimum salary, you have social security coverage, you have paid holidays, you are not supposed to work more than a certain number of hours in a week, and these are some employment benefits again I've not seen either in the US or in the Middle East or even in India. Three, one of the other things you're actually going to learn while living in France is the language French. Now, most of you think it's actually a problem while to find a job or to find a part-time job, but on the other hand, think about it, 2 years after you come to this country, you've actually picked up a language French, which is actually an added skill, whether you're in France where you know French, English and probably some Indian language, or in India where you actually know your Indian language, English and French. Either ways, you are at an advantage. Four, one of the most important things I've learned while studying in France, or while working, living and studying in France, is the work-life balance. Most of us have actually been through the cycle where we actually live to work, whereas here I've been very strongly taught that you actually work to live. That means when you are actually paid to work a job between 9 to 5, you work like to your best capability between 9 to 5, but after 5 to next day 9, it is considered your time, and it is considered to be invested wisely in terms of like activities like sports activities, going and getting coffee or a drink with your friends, so interactions, engagement, reading, art, into your growth. And this is one of the biggest lessons I've actually learned in France, and this is what I hope all of you will learn when you come to France to study. I hope all these following reasons will actually given you an insight into why France is a good place to study, and again, these are all my personal recommendations. With that, thank you so much for your time. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I shall see you next time.